Okay, continuing with forming and solving equations, looking at worded questions. So here's an example of a question where you got a diagram. Let's read it out. So write an expression for the perimeter of this triangle. The perimeter is equal to 45. Turn your expression into an equation and then solve the equation to work out the lengths. So first thing we want to do is just look at the shape and spot any interesting facts about this. So we can see that those two symbols have a meaning. They're kind of like the little arms of the triangle. They're telling you that these two lengths are equal. So we can label this length here as y minus 2 because that's going to be the same as the right hand side. And then the next thing we are told is we need to write an expression for the perimeter. The perimeter is when you add all the sides up. So y minus 2 plus y minus 2 plus, and then we've got the 5y at the bottom, is equal to 45. This was the expression for the perimeter, but we've turned it into an equation by writing equals 45. Now we need to solve the equation and work out the lengths. So let's simplify this first. The left-hand side of the equal sign, we can add up the y's. So we've got 5y plus another y plus another y. So that's 7y. And then in terms of numbers, we've got negative 2, that's going to give you negative 4. And then that's equal to 45. So now we need to solve this. We're going to add 4 to both sides. So 7y, that's a 0 pair, is equal to 45 plus 4 is 49. And then we're going to divide by 7, divide by 7. So that tells us that y is equal to 49 divided by 7 is 7. Now, the question says to work out the lengths of the sides. So this is not the final answer. We need to put this back into the triangle lengths. So we know that one of the sides is y minus 2, or two of the sides are. Now, if we know that y is 7, we can just replace that y with 7. So 7 minus 2 is 5 centimeters. So that's these two sides, so 5 centimeters, 5 centimeters. And then the 5y is going to be 5 times y, which is the same as 5 times 7, which is 35 centimeters. And that is your answer. Should note that this triangle technically cannot exist, because if you had a 35 centimeter base and these two were 5, they probably wouldn't touch, but we're not going to correct that for now. We're just going to look at the maths behind it. Okay, next question. Pause the video and have a go with this, and then we're going to work out some information. Okay, so we're going to write an expression for the perimeter of each shape. The perimeter of each of these shapes are equal, they're the same, and then use that information to solve. So pause the video if you need more time. I'm going to now just work out the perimeter of these shapes. So first of all, we need to label all the sides. So if that's x, this will also be x. And then this will be 3x plus 1. Put it in brackets just to make it neater. And then we've got all three sides of the triangle. So if we add up the sides of the rectangle, we're going to get x plus x plus 3x plus 1 plus 3x plus 1. So that's these two sides. And we're going to tidy this up. So we've got that's 6, 7, that's 8x plus 2. That's the perimeter of that rectangle. And now for the triangle, we use a different color. We're going to add these lengths up. So this is going to be x plus 10 plus x plus 2 plus 3x plus 5. We're going to add the x's up. So that's 3, 4, 5. So it's 5x. And we'll add the numbers up. Positive 10, positive 2, that's 12, plus 5. So it's going to be 17. Now it says we've written the expression for the perimeter of each shape, and then they're told that they're equal to each other, the same, so we can actually just add an equal sign in the middle. Yeah, they are equal. This is now an equation that we can solve. So let's just bring it together. And then solve that. So if you bring it a bit closer. Now this is solving an equation with unknowns on both sides. If you don't know how to do that, watch the video on the in the Year 8 Algebra playlist. So first thing you want to do is take away the smallest unknown. So 5x is smaller than 8, so you're going to take away 5x, take away 5x. So 8x take away 5x is 3x, plus 2 equals, that's a 0 pair, and that's going to be 17. I'm going to take away 2, take away 2. So that's 3x equals 17 take away 2 is 15. And then that means divide by 3, divide by 3. I'll just fit that in here on the right. So x is equal to 5. So we solve for x. Now, if the question said work out the lengths of the sides, we would have to put x equals 5 into each of these to work out the actual lengths. But in this case, it just says solve for x. So that is your answer. So what we've done is we formed an expression, formed another expression, turned it into an equation, and then solved the equation. Okay, here's a rectangle. Its length is twice its width. If the perimeter is 42, find the width. Now, the difference here is the fact that we don't have any lengths given to us in terms of algebra or numbers. So we need to create that. So we are going to just pick a letter and just stick with x in this case. And it says the length is twice its width. So if this is x, this would be 2x. And that would also be 2x and x. And that's basically what we need to do. We need to now show that the perimeter is 42 by turning that into an equation. So the perimeter, just like the previous question, is just adding all of these up. So 2x plus 2x plus x plus x. And we know that's going to equal 42. So that's 4, 5, that's 6x equals 42. Divide by 6, divide by 6, x is equal to 7. And then it says find the width. So we just substitute back into here. So the rectangle, we know that x is 7. So that's 7, 7, 14, 14. And we found all of the sides. Okay. Worded questions. I'll do the example on the left and then you can try the one on the right. Now, we are going to turn this into some type of expression using each line of information. So Charlie is 3 years older than Harriet. Williamson is 5 years older than Harriet. Their ages sum to 23. How old is each child? So you need to be strategic here and decide that Harriet is the thing that's common to both statements. So we're just going to call Harriet's age H. So if Harriet is H years old, Charlie is 3 years older, so that would be plus H plus 3, because that's Charlie's age. This is Harriet's age. And Williamson is 5 years older than Harriet, so that Williamson would be H plus 5. So Williamson, Harriet, and Charlie. So all of these together will sum to 23. So just rub this out, and that is your equation. And once we know what Harriet's age is, the others we'll figure that out from here. So H plus H plus H, that's 3H. And you've got 5 plus 3 is 8 is equal to 23. Just as a tip, generally it's nicer to just write on the question as well. So it's just H plus 3 that's h plus 5, and that's just h. So let's solve this. Take away 8, take away 8. So 3h equals 23 take away 8, which is 15. And then divide by 3, divide by 3. So h is equal to 5. We can check this by substituting it back in here. So 5 plus 3 is 8. H is just 5, and then 5 plus 5 is 10. If we add these numbers up, we should get 23. So 10 plus 8 plus 5 is going to give you 23, so that's correct. So you can self-check in an exam. So because it says how old is each child, you do actually need to state this in a statement where your answer is. I'm just going to move this so it's to have space. So we can say Charlie equals 8, Harriet equals 5, and Williamson equals 10. So try the same thing on the right hand side. Pause the video, have a go. Okay, pause the video if you need more time. Jennifer is twice as old as George. Simon is 3 years older than George. So George is, because it's common to both statements, we're going to use George as G. And Jennifer is G plus 2. No, sorry, twice is going to be 2G. And Simon is 3 years older, so that's going to be G plus 3. And they all add up to 27. So we can write this as an equation now. 2G plus G plus 3 plus G equals 27. So this is Jennifer's age, this is Simon's age, and this is George's age. So we can add the G's up. 2 plus 1 plus 1, that's 4G, plus, and then it's just a 3 is equal to 27. We're going to solve this. Take away 3, take away 3, 4G equals 24, and then divide by 4, divide by 4. So G equals 6. So George is 6 years old. So again, like before, we need to actually write this neatly to show the answer. The final answer is, the question is asking how old is each child. So in this case, we're going to write G. If we know that G is 6, then 2G is Jennifer, so that's J. 2 times 6 is 12, and then Simon S is 6 plus 3, which is 9. And that's it. Those are your answers. So you can see forming an equation, solving, and then working out using that information. Questions in context. Here are some more questions for you to try. Pause the video and have a go, and then I'm going to go through both. Okay, so if you need more time, pause the video again. So let's work through the first example. Bill buys some sweets. Cam buys 3 times as many as Bill, and Tim has 10 more sweets. Together there's 38 sweets. How many did they each get? So what we don't want to do is introduce lots of different letters. We're going to just focus on the sweets. We're going to call sweets W, just for no special reason, just for giggles. So if Bill has W sweets, Cam buys 3 times as many. So Cam has 3W. Tim has 10 more. So that's W plus 10. Sorry, no, that's wrong. Tim has 10 more than Cam. So that's 3W, what Cam has, plus 10. There are 38 in total. So let's write this neatly. So Bill has W sweets. Cam has 3 times as many as Bill, so that's 3W. And then Tim has 3W plus 10. So be careful with that. It's not 10 more than Bill, it's 10 more than Cam. So it's 3W plus 10. And you know that's going to equal 38. So now we just need to solve it. So add up the W's, that's going to give you 6, 7W plus 10 equals 38. Take away 10, take away 10. 7W equals 28. And then we're going to divide by 7, divide by 7. So W equals 4. So it says how many did they each get. So we need to write down their names and how many each individual person got. Otherwise you don't get the final marks. So in this case, Bill gets 4. Cam gets 3 times W, so 3 times 4 is 12. And then Tim gets 3 times W, which is 12, plus 10, which is 22. Right, question on the right. Let's have a go with that. Jennifer buys some sweets. Simon has 5 times as many and George has 3 less than Simon. Okay, so let's say Jennifer has J sweets. Simon has 5 times as many as Jennifer, so that's 5J. And then George has 3 less than Simon. So it's whatever Simon has, which is 5J, take away 3. In total, they got 30. So let's write this neatly. J plus 5J plus 5J minus 3 equals 30. We're going to simplify and solve. So add up the J's, that's going to be 11J minus 3 equals 30. We're going to add 3 to both sides. And that's a nice one to divide because 11 goes into 33. So J has 3 sweets. Now again, we need to write down how many each person has. So Jennifer has 3. Simon has 5 times J, which is 5 times 3. So that's 15. And George has 5J take away 3. So 15 take away 3 is going to be 12. And that's it. That's your answer. Okay, in the next video, I'm going to be working through this worksheet. So if you have the worksheet, great. If you don't have the worksheet, pause the video in the next video and then work through these questions. These are all exam questions. Smash the like button, hit subscribe. See you in the next one.